Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Before we get started tonight, I would like to introduce Mr. Dan Scheidel from the United Way of Enid in Northwest Oklahoma to lead us in our invocation.
Thank you. Please join with me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we are so thankful that you brought us all together tonight. Lord, I just pray that you would grant us the wisdom, that your Spirit is bestowed upon all of us. With courage, we may proclaim your prophetic word and complete the work that you have set before us through your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. O Lord, as we work together to build your empire, let us be the light that leads the world to you. Please teach us to be good role models to the people around us, so that when we see you and your love within us, that they would want to know you more and more. Heavenly Father, grant us the patience to work together. Bring us all together as a family in unity. Let us work together with understanding, compassion in our hearts, and let us not be rude or arrogant towards one another as we light the way to your heavenly kingdom. We give you thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Dan. And with that, we will call the meeting to order with all board members excluding Ms. Janelle Huff present. Takes us to presentations. Mrs. Johnson.
Yes, it's my favorite time of year. We get our kids back at the board meetings. So tonight we have our elementary spotlight student from Eisenhower. So I'm going to let Ms. Murphy, principal at Eisenhower, introduce her.
Good afternoon. I have with me Miss Amaris Redmond. She's a fifth grader at Eisenhower, and her parents are Kavita and Lashandria Redmond. The school activities that she participates in is our leadership team. She's in Generation Pound, and she's in our running club. The community activities is gymnastics, boxing, youth company, dance, singing, drama, the Inspire Performing Arts Academy, community outreach with church. Her hobbies include gymnastics, baking, drawing, art, making art, playing outside, helping others. The thing that she is the most proud of is I am a state and regional gymnastics champion. I'm also proud to do well in school and try my best.
The great thing about Eisenhower is they have great teachers and a good principal. Please stand. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you go over here with Miss Murphy and Miss Tolan? Our secondary spotlight student is from Longfellow Middle School, and Mr. John Mitchell, the principal of Longfellow, is here to introduce them.
Well, before I introduce her, I want to tell a story. Every year around Christmas time, I'll go to the sixth grade teachers and I'll ask for a couple of future leaders. And 2 years ago, they introduced me to Brianna, and she's helped us with leadership activities ever since then, and she's going to be an outstanding student. She is one, and she will continue to be one at Enid High School. So this is Brianna Cervantes Herrera.
Hello, my name is Brianna Cervantes Herrera. I am an 8th grader at Longfellow Middle School. I love Longfellow because the teachers and staff are amazing. They are always there for us whenever we need it. and always have a response to our question. I love that in every class we bond and create great relationships with jokes and laughter. I'm proud that I'm taking all enriched classes, Algebra 1, Spanish 1 for high school credit, and I also enjoy being in weight training, being an office aide, and doing soccer when it's the season. Lastly, I would like to thank all of you for listening and taking the time to hear how amazing Longfellow is. And always remember, believe.
Take your picture over here.
Brianna and Amaris, thank you both for coming tonight. We appreciate you. Love seeing you girls. And you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay if you like, or you can feel free to slip away too. We understand.
Our next recognition is Miss Kaylee Johnson. Kaylee was the coordinator of Run, Hide, Fight with Jason Priest when we did our training on September 1st. She actually represents LSU and NCBRT. And she can tell you what NCBRT stands for. But Kaylee Johnson, and we appreciate your help in coordinating all of that. It was some of the best PD that our staff said they participated in. So, you want to say something? Just tell them what NCBRT is.
That is a big, long, fancy acronym. So it's National Center for Biomedical Research and Training. It's a long one. So we just say NCBRT. But yeah, thank you. So I'm actually local to Enid, Oklahoma, and have a lot of family that work for Enid Public Schools. So it was an honor to get to do this. I was just talking to Jason. This is like the first and largest district-wide training in the state of Oklahoma, and we are looking to help with a lot more schools trainings. And so we're super excited about that. And so it was a joy to get to start here in Enid, where I have so many people connected. So
It was a great training, and on behalf of the district, thank you very much for setting it up. It was we've heard that compliment that it was the most beneficial training we've had time and time again. So thank you.
thank you.
Take your picture. Yeah, the poor thing has to put up with me, so. My sweet daughter-in-law. So, and then the next recognition that we have is Jason Priest and his officers. And so I'm going to let Jason say a few things and introduce his officers. But we greatly appreciate all that you do for our district immensely. Thank you.
Well, it was a great training. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Really couldn't have pulled it off without Kaylee. I appreciate it a lot. We haven't talked that much in the last couple of weeks. I think we talked every day for about 4 months. But the officers up here are Greg Pavlik, Colton Harrell, Ben McGrath, Brian Rios, and Tobaclay Lomway.
Okay, that takes us to item 2, audience to visitors. We had no one sign up this evening. So item 3, the superintendent's report, Dr. Darrow.
All right, I'm going to start off by turning it back over to Chief Priest, and he'd like to cover several things regarding school and student safety. And while I'm speaking, I'll mute myself here, but just want to say a big thank you to all 6 of you guys for being here tonight. We are so very fortunate to have 6 police officers and 6 good guys protecting our kids every day. So if you would, let's join me. Let's give one more round of applause to you guys. Thank you again.
Well, I appreciate y'all having me, giving me a few minutes to tell you what we've done and what we're doing for the safety of Enid Public Schools. I will go through this list that I have that you are being passed now. If you have any questions, please just let me know. All Enid Public School campuses operate in secure mode all day, every day. What that is all outside doors and all inside doors are locked from the moment school starts to the moment school's over. That is something we've done for quite a few years. That is odd. Not every school does that. A lot of our trainers that were there for the Run, Hide, Fight training were kind of in awe that that's how we operate. So that's one step. All Enid Public School campus doors are numbered. That's inside and outside, and they reflect this on the campus maps. That's important because the campus maps are with the police department, the fire department, Life EMS, Mike Honigsburg at emergency management. That allows for emergency personnel, if we have a problem inside one of our buildings, to know really where to go, whether that's an outside door or once they're inside, where to go inside the classroom. We have key fob entrances pretty much on every side of every campus. What that means is, so Enid Police Department, Highway Patrol, Garfield County Sheriff's Office, even our OSBI agent, they all have a key fob. So if there's an emergency at one of the schools, they don't need anybody around to let them in. They can get in. So I know that people talk about what they can do without those, but they can get in silently and take care of any issues that they need to. I know that we've talked here in the recent past about what we can do for the fire department with that as well. We also have Informacast. Informacast is our emergency system. If a secretary at one of the main entrances sees a problem, they can hit a panic button. Administration within the school, they can get on there through their app on their phone. They can notify law enforcement that we need help and what kind of help we need. It goes directly to the police department via an email and a phone call. We have added 2 more campus police officers from last year. What that means for us is we always have 2 or 3 campus police officers at the high school, and we always have 2 or 3 out in the city of Enid visiting each campus numerous times a day. So that's going to cut down on our response time, along with our partnership with the Enid Police Department. The goal is to make it to where we're never farther, well, any law enforcement official is never farther than about a minute away from a school. We're working on radios for every campus. You've probably been to campuses, and you see that they have radios, but those radios talk within that campus only. These radios will have the ability to speak directly to me, and they will have a channel that what we're working on is that the Enid Police Department can monitor. So if something happens and somebody can't reach a phone, they have instant help. They can communicate instantly with somebody that can get them help going right away. We have a Vigilon, which is our camera system. We have that in every school. I know that we are working at expanding that. I think every school has them on the inside. Most of them have it on the outside, but we're working on expanding that as well. As Kaylee Johnson had said, we had Run, Hide, Fight training for all EPS employees, which was over 1,000 at approximately 15 sites with 67 trainers on September 1st. Like I say, it was the largest school staff training of its kind in the state. It was the first district-wide. In 2024, I'll receive training so that I can teach Run, Hide, Fight so that we can go over it in the district when needed. We have had last week and this week we'll finish up risk and vulnerability assessments for every campus. I believe after today we were done with 14. There's only 4 to go, and I believe that I've sent 11 of those to Dr. Darrow as of right now. I will also, this was going to happen. I received my training kind of on the fly while we were doing them, so I'm now certified to do those. So it is in-house. I can do them on a yearly basis. Where that comes into play is there's a new law that says every school has to have them done by a certain time. Well, we've had them done, and we have the ability now to do them anytime we want. The last one, which I'll lead into my comments below, we're always working and discussing ways to make campuses and events safer. I know there's been a lot of talk lately about things that have been going on in the state. We have had a lot of those talks before these events ever happen. Just maybe because people aren't seeing anything doesn't mean we haven't addressed them and aren't talking about them. So what we've been doing this year, so we went from 4 campus police officers to 6, and I wanted to share with y'all what that investment has done. We've been in school for 22 days. As of today, at 3:35, EPS campus police have completed 41 reports. We did not complete 41 reports until August 20th of 2022 last school year. So it has been a lot busier. We have attended 56 campus emergency drills, 6 campus safety meetings, and 2 threat assessments. We have provided security for 4 home football games and 5 other events, including senior sunrise, 2 assemblies during homecoming week, the homecoming bonfire, and the homecoming dance. We have also had 2 visits from InterQuest, which is our canine detection team. We are scheduled for quite a few more during this year. This year, campus police took over truancy. So far to date, 22 days in, we have referred 68 students to Garfield County Juvenile for truancy issues, 25 from the high school, 16 from the middle school, and 27 elementary. And we have done 18 phone calls or home visits to check on students, parents, and truancy issues. This is not just us calling people and saying you're going to be in trouble. This is, what can we do to help? Have they been sick? Was there a funeral? How can we help clear up these issues? Your car's not running. How can we, hook you up with a way to get to school? And that's a lot with Mitchie Lamley at Garfield County Juvenile. I know for a fact a couple of families, she has bought the entire family new shoes, a covered wagon so that they can walk, and has hooked them up with a mechanic to look at their vehicles, possibly to get them fixed. So when I put those numbers on there, that is not us calling people saying, we're coming for you. That's offering help so that we can get their child in school so that they can learn. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, Chief Priest, real quick. We're going to take that information from our risk vulnerability assessment, and we're going to use that information to apply for a grant too, correct?
That is correct. By completing those risk and vulnerability assessments before the end of September, we can qualify for a $50,000 grant through Oklahoma Safe School Institute.
Do you have any preliminary recommendations on where that should go?
So, I haven't had the chance to review them yet. I know that the 2 schools that I did, I know some things that stick out, but this is the same thing I tell a lot of, working in a school district. You all probably know this by being out and about. It is nonstop questions, and I enjoy the questions, and I try to answer them. A lot of things that we're trying to do, it boils down to a lot of money, and we're working on those things, but it's like a triage. $50,000 is not a lot of money. So with that, we will have to identify throughout the district what is an important task, and can we complete that with $50,000? So on that, I will rely a lot on Dr. Robinson.
Any other questions?
I do have one. In Formicast last year, we had an issue, and Formicast didn't work somewhat. Are we better on that?
So the quick answer is yes. So after December 8th of 2022, which was a Thursday at 10:27 in the morning, it's a day that will stick with me forever. When we came back for second semester, there was 2 whole days of running tests, and there's been another 2 whole days when we came back to school this year, both of which I had campus police officers at the buildings to see what any problems were. And there were a few glitches. There was also a few glitches within the Enid Police Department. But it worked. It did what it's supposed to do. And when you start looking at other apps, they all have their problems. It's finding what works for you and what will get the job done. What will get us the help as fast as possible when we need it. And it will do that.
Well, thank you, Chief Priest. Appreciate you coming up. Appreciate all of you guys again.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's see here. Going down to item 3B, enrollment. Just a discussion point here. Our current enrollment is up about 47 kids or 43 kids from last time. So we're sitting at 76-36, so that's good. Our numbers are healthy, which we kind of talked about that last month, how Labor Day things start to settle down a little bit, and it seems like we're pretty steady with that number, 76-36. Although we have 30 pre-K kids without a teacher that were late enrollees, weren't pre-enrolled, and so kind of late enrollees. So that takes me to our next item, be item 3C, and that is a discussion item, an action item that seek your approval on. What we'd like to do is have a $2,000 signing bonus for those teachers joining us in early childhood. This is very similar to what we've done in previous years with special ed, math, science, foreign language. But again, we've got some kiddos out there that don't have a pre-K classroom to go to, and if we could get a couple more teachers, we can get those guys hooked up ASAP. And obviously, it's just good for kids and it's good for staff as well. And one other thing I'd like to add is, Jane, help me out. We've got 6 early childhood teachers that we've onboarded this year, and with your approval, we would apply that $2,000 signing bonus to them. So hopefully grab a couple more, but again, we've got 6 currently that it would apply to.
The goal is to get 2 more on top of those 6.
I tell you what, if we get 3, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But yeah, we'd like to get 2 right now, but immediately, yes.
I will entertain a motion.
So can I clarify something?
You may.
So this is for, just so we make sure the language is right, for early childhood certified teachers, not just early childhood teachers. You have to hold a standard early childhood certificate to get $2,000 signing bonus. There are 6, we had more early childhood hires than 6. We have 6 that currently hold early childhood certification that will be retroactively paid if you guys approve this.
Thank you for the clarification. So again, I will entertain a motion. Motion by Matt Sampson. Second by Matt Lohman. Any further discussion? I will point out to the board we're going to start doing roll call votes. So I'm going to call each of you individually, okay? All right, so on this one, Randy Long.
Yes.
Matt Lohman.
Yes.
Chad Mance.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow. Yes. Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
Thank you. And the motion carries.
Thank you all. Let's go to item 3D, just a discussion item. I just wanted to point out we've got some flu shots coming up to date here next month. And a big thank you to our lead nurse, Cheryl Gray, for coordinating this with Evans Pharmacy. This is not mandatory, but just trying to keep a healthy school. So those dates are coming up shortly. Moving down to 3E, discussion item is kind of an update on our bond committee. Just want to talk to you all about where we're at. We've had 2 meetings thus far. We had a meeting on August 30th, and our next one is scheduled for Wednesday, August 27th. And lean on the leadership team.
September 20th.
I'm sorry, September 20th, excuse me. Lean on the leadership team, Randy and Jane and Sam, if I've missed anything. But overall, I think the feeling of the group has been very, very positive. We're focusing on 3 things, and again, that's transportation, student technology, and school safety and security. And as you just heard from Chief Priest, it takes a lot of takes some resources every year to keep safety and security up to date. The one thing I'd like to point out is those are 3 areas that we can't get behind in either. We can't find ourselves behind on Chromebooks. We can't find ourselves behind on vehicles, and definitely not school security. And one negative thing that has popped out recently is, as you all know, is the rising interest rates, and that has definitely taken a negative effect on bond. I will tell you that we've reached out to our bond company, and we're looking at some different options, looking at maybe extending it to 10 years to 15, or what does that look like? So I guess my report to you all is it's good, healthy conversation. We're exploring all possibilities. There's a sense of urgency that we can't get behind there, but also we just have to be very cognizant of where we are financially as well, and in our taxpayers. So, guys, did I miss anything? Everything? Okay. Any questions so far? Again, it's September 27th. Thank you.
Dr. Darrow.
What rate are we looking at right now?
Dr. Robbins, I don't have that information from me on what kind of rate we're getting. It was over 10%, wasn't it? Or am I wrong?
No, the estimate came in at 7%.
7.
But you could see the very near future, bond rates could be close to 9%, depending on what the feds do at their next meeting. So it's we're kind of in interesting times right now.
Yeah.
And remember, we operate on short-term bonds, and so whatever the 2-year rate is kind of where we're sitting at on that, as far as that number coming in. I just was at a bond meeting today, and there is no good guess other than if you are buying bonds, now is the time to be doing it. If you're selling bonds, which is what we do, it's not such a good time to be a seller. Yeah. We actually were at over 5% on the last go of them this last year.
Those higher interest rates definitely, the projections definitely had a tremendous effect on the millage, on our property taxes. So it's something to be aware of for sure.
Just real quick, how many members have been showing up for the committee meeting?
I'd say we probably had at least 25.
Okay.
25-ish.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to item F. This is an action item. This is our estimate of needs. I'd like for Dr. Robinson to chime in on anything that I misspeak on, but this is a really good evaluation, in my opinion. Our school district went up over $10 million, and I think that's really good to point out that we're in a healthy school district. There's several school districts in northwest Oklahoma that valuations went down, and I would contribute that largely to the wind turbines and the grain elevators, the grain supply being coded differently on property. But again, our local evaluation went up $10 million. Our county evaluation went down a little bit, but again, it's very, very healthy. One thing I'd like to also point out on that document is you'll see that there's a little bit of ESSER money. I say a little bit. There's $5 million left of ESSER money. This will be the last year that we'll have that on the books, and so you could see our evaluation our budget go down next year, mainly because that's such a significant amount of $5 million. But overall, very optimistic. Dr. Robinson, did I miss anything?
Nope, that's everything. Just big key indicator that we do have in our favor, talking about interest rates. That is one thing that's on here right now. We're hoping to collect over $600,000 in interest this year on funds we have. Why that's a good thing. The other side of that, when you're selling bonds, it's not such a good thing. So as interest rates go up and down, there will be a variance in that as well, as far as our fund balance, our carryover, and where we're sitting at with our budgetary items. So that's very unusual. The last couple of years, if we brought in $100,000, it was a pretty good year on interest rates. So to have 600 goes a long ways in taking care of a lot of our needs.
Anything further?
Nope.
Okay, I will entertain a motion for item F.
So moved.
Motion by Matt Sampson,
Second.
second by Chad Mance. Any further discussion? Okay, Randy Long,
Yes.
Matt Lohman,
Yes.
Chad Mance,
Yes.
Tori Turnbow, yes. Joe Blackwood,
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Perfect. That takes us to 3G. That's another action item. This is the potential shop to be built that will actually house our airplane that we're actually building. This shop will be by the Cleveland Elementary, by the maintenance and transportation department. I was actually there last week. It's really pretty cool. We saw 4 volunteers from the community helping the kids put some rivets on some wings, and we're currently in that Cleveland Elementary gym. But this will be really, really neat. It's really going to be awesome to watch over time. And a couple things I'd like to point out too, that once we build this plane, we're going to sell the plane. Isn't that correct, Dr. Rhodes? Yep. we're going to sell the plane. And so you might say, well, what are we going to do with the building? Well, Dr. Rhodes quickly pointed out we're going to build another plane. So we could build another plane. We could also use it for maintenance. We could use it for transportation, do that location. So this is a win-win, and I seek your approval.
I'll entertain a motion. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Matt Lohman, Randy Long. Any further discussion? Okay, Randy Long.
Yes.
Matt Lohman.
Yes.
Chad Mance.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow. Yes. Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Thank you. That takes us to item H, 3H. This is an action item. This is a class action lawsuit settlement with Altura Group, and they've been awarded $168 million, and of that $168 million, 132 of it's going to go into back to schools, and that's for predatory advertising and targeting teenagers for the use of electronic cigarettes and smokeless tobacco being promoted at schools. This is actually the second settlement that has come out of here. We were part of the first settlement, although we have not received any money yet. By taking this action, this would allow us to potentially receive funds. Could be $5, could be $5,000, I don't know, but we need your approval to potentially receive funds from this.
I will entertain a motion for item H.
So moved.
Matt Lohman, second by Matt Sampson. Any further discussion? And we will vote. Randy Long.
Yes.
Matt Lohman.
Yes.
Chad Mance.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow. Yes. Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Thank you all. And the last item on the superintendent's report is just want to remind everybody that on Tuesday, October 17th is going to be our next regular scheduled board meeting. And the reason it's Tuesday is because we have fall break, the 12th, 13th, and then that Monday we're out of school as well. So that'll be, we pushed that back to Tuesday. Although, judging by Becky this morning, we got enough of you to have a quorum for a very, very short board meeting a week from today at noon. I promise that will be very, very short. We just need to do that to get the minutes. Jay needs to get that for the minutes to be approved so we can get that for a lot of our adjunct teachers. So just very short, minimal. And one last thing before I mute myself, if you see anybody involved with the Great Land Run, we had a wonderful event last Saturday. That Great Land Run is very beneficial to us as a school district, and Triangle Insurance and Weimer Brownlee put that on. And all the proceeds go to Enid Public Schools in Chisholm, and it was very well attended, very well, and just a win-win for us as a school district. So if you see anybody, give them a big thank you, and we certainly appreciate it. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Takes us to item 4, regular business. So item 4A, 1 through 7, we can take as one. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Matt Sampson.
Second.
Second by Chad Mance. Any discussion? And we will vote. Randy Long.
Yes.
Matt Lohman.
Yes.
Chad Mance.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow. Yes. Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries. Takes us to item 4B, discussion and possible action to approve the district financial report for August 2023. Dr. Robinson.
Well, I hate to say this, but as always, finances are in a really good place. So it's good news. Everything's coming in just as expected to start the fiscal year. Since you guys just approved the estimate of needs, those carryover numbers will be added to your sheet that you guys have in front of you and reflected in the monthly going forward. One thing that I do want to talk about is a purchase that we're making for our police officers. So you saw our 2 new police officers. We're hoping to add a 3rd police officer at the first of the year, and we're using grant funds from the state of Oklahoma that they approved through legislative action last year to pay for 2 of those officers. And then we had another retiree last year who worked with Truancy. We're going to use his salary to basically pay for that 3rd officer. So it's kind of a wash as far as budget items go. The one thing that's not a wash is how do we get those officers around the school district? And so buying chargers, buying police, what you would consider a police type vehicle, they're really hard to come by, and there's really no state contract pricing on it. So to buy a used charger at this time is somewhere in the neighborhood of $35,000, $40,000 if you could find one, and it's going to come with a significant number of miles on it. So what we've looking to do is to purchase trucks. So I know we've seen police officers in trucks. We can get contract pricing on truck, a four-door truck, about $40,000. We have one that's ready to go. So since you approved POs tonight, that one's ready to go. There's two more that we're requesting to buy that I also did a PO for. So we're looking at about $120,000 in police vehicles, and each one of those vehicles is going to cost about $4,000 to get outfitted with radios and very small light package. But the benefit of the truck is that if we ever find ourselves where we can buy more of a police-like vehicle, we can actually cycle those trucks back into our maintenance fleet. And so they can really help us in two areas. If we ever came upon an emergency where we needed them in the maintenance fleet, all of a sudden we could do that as well. So I think it's a really good investment, but I think it's something you guys need to be aware of, is that whenever we talk about campus security, like Jason alluded to, $50,000 really sometimes will get you a long way, sometimes it will not. But we have to give them the right equipment for them to do the job correctly. And those vehicles are a big part of that and part of taking care of that. So just I'm bringing that up as part of the financial report, because when people talk about how does the school district spend their money, I think it's important that everybody knows that we're getting ready to have $132,000 just in vehicles to outfit our police department. Now, will that expense happen again? No, it's probably not going to be another 6 or 7 years before we have to get to that point. But those kind of things always crop up when we add new, when we do different things. And so as we go through finance this year, I'm going to try and keep you guys apprised of those kind of expenditures and kind of what we have going on. Again, one-time expenditure the way I see it, because it's only going to happen once every 7 years or so. These are brand new, 0 miles when we get them. So that's warranties, everything. Just like on our bus fleet, we talk about activity buses. We could go buy an activity bus with 500,000 miles on it, but we get 500,000 mile problems. Right. Something brand new. So why not buy a brand new vehicle that we know how we change the oil, we know how we've taken care of it since it rolled off the assembly line. And to me, there's a lot of value in buying new and not buying used. Not to discount a used vehicle in any way. I just think if we can afford it, we can do it. Let's do the very best we can for the people who are taking care of our most precious people, and that's our students in our buildings.
So Sam, how many will that make as far as a fleet for security?
That'll be, every officer will have a vehicle at that point in time.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this, every officer has a vehicle right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are some very old Impalas that are driver's ed vehicles. Some of I wouldn't say you're going to get in hot pursuit in one of those. Not that our officers are ever going to do that. So we are getting around the district. They're not identifiable. I think a big deterrence with our police officers is identifying them. You have a police car parked out in front of a campus. Who knows how many officers are in that building? It might be 2 or 3. But that car is as much a deterrent as any officer on foot on that campus. And that's why I really want to have a marked up vehicle for each one of them, and a dependable vehicle, because if they get in it and they have to go, I want it to be able to go for them. So, and that's it, just approval. We don't need to approve that item. It was actually through the POs, but part of the finance report, I think it's a good time to talk about it.
Okay. But do I have a motion to approve the district financial report for August 2023?
So moved.
Motion by Matt Sampson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Matt Lohman. Any further discussion? And we will vote. Randy Long.
Yes.
Matt Lohman.
Yes.
Chad Mance.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow. Yes. Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
And the motion carries. Thank you. Item C. What are we? 4C. 5C? 4C. Sorry. Discussion and possible action to approve an Oklahoma State Department of Education waiver for library media specialist services at Garfield Elementary School. Mrs. Johnson? Or Dr. Darrow? Who's taking this?
We've got to do it twice. We've got to do it for Garfield, and we've got to do it for Waller, right, Jane?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's part of our accreditation.
Yes, sir. The educators there do not have a library media specialist certification. So while they're working on that, we ask the State Department to grant us a waiver.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, I will entertain a motion.
Can I just ask one question? How long is the waiver?
It's yearly for
Yearly.
those that aren't certified. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So are those waivers just good for a year and then you've got to go back?
Are we limited on the number of waivers if
How long will it take for them to get those certifications?
It's a master's program.
Okay. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Randy Long,
Second.
Matt Sampson. Any further discussion? Okay, we will.
Actually, I have one more.
Yes, go
I
ahead.
apologize.
You're fine. Go ahead. Can we use your microphone so that I don't get.
But if that's my goal, no. Sorry, it's a little loud for me. I was reading the document again today. We had somebody that started their master's program. Had they just started, or have they been working on it? How long are we looking at?
We have one, the library media specialist at Waller had already started hers, so she is well into her master's program, and the one at Garfield is just starting her program.
I will say that this library media specialists are extremely hard to find, and so we definitely need to take care of them for sure.
Okay, any further discussion? And with that, we will vote. Randy Long.
Yes.
Matt Lohman.
Yes.
Chad Mance.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow. Yes. Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
And the motion carries. Thank you. Item 4D, discussion and possible action to approve an Oklahoma State Department of Education waiver for library media specialist services at Waller Middle School. Same story, different school. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Randy Long, do I have a second?
Second.
Chad Mance, any further discussion? And we will vote. Randy Long?
Yes.
Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Chad Mance?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow? Yes. Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
And the motion carries. Thank you. Item 4E, discussion and possible action to approve board policy for school surveillance cameras, CKAJ, as recommended by OSSBA. Dr. Darrow.
I think this is probably something that's a little overdue. We've had cameras for a long time and look to continue expanding cameras, just like Chief Priest said tonight. That policy is OSSBA recommended. It's got their stamp of approval. One other thing I'd like to say, we've got them inside our hallways, inside our cafeterias, outside. We also have them on our buses too. So this is going to provide a lot of guidance for our administrators, our campus police officers. Promotes a safe school. It's overall it's a good policy, and I definitely seek your approval.
I will entertain a motion. Matt Lohman, do I have a second?
Second.
Matt Sampson, any further discussion? And we will vote. Randy Long?
Yes.
Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Chad Mance?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow? Yes. Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
And the motion carries. Item 4F, discussion and possible action to approve board maternity leave policy, DECR, as recommended by OSSBA. Dr. Darrow?
Much like the security cameras, we currently do not have a policy. The OSDE, the Oklahoma State Department of Education, is supposed to be providing us some guidance here shortly. It was approved in legislation. We just haven't got any guidance yet. But we need to go ahead and get started on this policy. One thing I'd like to add is, since we don't have one, by adopting one, this actually benefits the employee much more than it benefits the district. This is intended to be a recruiting tool to get more educators in the system. So definitely think this is, and one other thing too is this also parallels with our Family Medical Leave Act as well. Jane, Sam, am I missing anything on this? Good place to start for sure, and we'll just continue to monitor what guidance comes out of the State Department.
We'll entertain a motion to approve item 4F.
So moved.
Motion by Matt Sampson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Randy Long. Any further discussion? Yes. Okay.
My only question is, this is based on Senate Bill 1121 that the governor approved in the spring, limited to female. So does the fact that it says all full-time employees versus all female full-time employees matter? I realize the title of maternity leave that automatically inherently states female, but it says all full-time employees, and you do have a lot of companies, districts, because even the state capital employees have paternity leave, but this did not afford for that. I just want to point that out just in case we need to make that amendment.
No, we are very comfortable with the way it reads, maternity.
Okay, we have motions. Any more discussion? And we will vote. Randy Long?
Yes.
Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Chad Mance.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow. Yes. Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Takes us to item 5, new business. We have no new business to discuss. Item 6, reports, items of information, board comments and/or questions. Colonel Little was not able to join us this evening. Any board members? Okay. Item 7.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Hitting the button. I want to give some congratulations to Jane. You always do so well in recognizing employees and kids, but I got pulled off to the side at the Y a couple of weeks ago, and they told me that it was an AMBooks meeting, I believe, and you did a very good job. She happened to recognize me from some sort of pamphlet that you had and wanted me to convey that to you. So, good job.
Very good. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Anyone else? Okay, item 7, our next regular board meeting, as Dr. Darrow stated, will be Tuesday, October 17th, 2023 at 6 p.m. here in the Administrative Services Center boardroom. Item 8, discussion and possible action to approve a proposed executive session to discuss the employment of those individuals and/or positions listed on the attached Exhibit A and Exhibit B pursuant to Oklahoma Statute 25, Section 307B1, pending or possible litigation pursuant to Oklahoma Statute 25, Section 307B4, and possible purchase or appraisal of real property pursuant to Oklahoma Statute 25, Section 307B3. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion? And we will vote. Randy Long?
Yes.
Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Chad Mance?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow? Yes. Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
And the motion carries. We're headed to executive session at 6:45.